Okay, so I'm obviously being super duper vulnerable because that is what I'm being called to do. That last video was hard for me, big time, to talk about. Because I know a lot of people don't subscribe to past lives or spirit teams and spirit guides, and I understand that. And I have a hard time too because it is new for me. And it's not like I haven't fully bought in, because I would not be out here on the internet talking about it like that if I didn't believe it. And I do. But I do realize, because it wasn't so long ago that I was full on atheist, I just remember those feelings of like, oh my God. So it's uncomfortable a little bit, but I do have to tell the truth. So that's the truth. And when I was saying I'm still hung up on Tony Hawk, or when I was saying I am this or still this, I'm speaking in the present tense, but what I'm meaning to do is, as this is happening months ago, when Maverick reached out to me, at that time, I am still hung up on Tony Hawk. I wanted to clarify that. So at that time, when I got the message from Maverick, Tony Hawk and I broke up. I was still talking to him here and there. I didn't ask him for help either to move my things. He did come over, and he was so upset about the house. And nobody else saw my house. My sisters, my brother-in-law, my parents, nobody in my family, and no friends. And none of Josh's friends, nobody. Nobody saw my house because I didn't ask for any help. But Tony Hawk did come, and he was so affected by it. Like, he just was sitting, like, he was, like, so upset. And he's like, I've had my house raided before. It was nothing like this. And I just remember he reminded me so much of, I don't want to say that, but he sat at the kitchen table, and which had crap all over it, like stuff everywhere, surrounding him, at his feet, everywhere, all over the table. And he just could not even speak. Like, he was like, I can't fucking believe this happened. But I didn't ask for his help. Matter of fact, when he did text me, like, what's going on, whatever. I was like, don't fucking worry about us. I was like, fuck you. So, I didn't ask for his help either. So I did go at it alone. As I said, I lost a lot. As I said, I lost things. I left tons of money on the table in multiple ways, because there's things I could have sold if I had more time. There's things I could have given to people if I had more time. There was valuable things there that I don't even want to talk about because it's upsetting. I also didn't discuss that things were stolen. Prior to the raid, we found out through different things. There were things from my father-in-law's little friends, little homeless people. They walked right off our back property with expensive things, like quads were stolen. And then after the raid, also things were stolen. So again, I lost money. I left tons of money on the table. I could have got more money for the house. I could have stopped the sale and canceled the contract and sat there and reconfigured my life there, and perhaps figured out something. And I don't think that was the right thing to do, but I had options. But because I was, like I said, in survival mode, I was like, oh my God, I was hyperventilating, I was freaking out, and I was on my own, refusing to ask for help. And I didn't call people because I didn't want people to see the house. I didn't want them to see how badly I have destroyed my life. And the only reason I'm able to talk about it now is because I am clean and sober and clear-minded and happy and peaceful. And I realize now that with every single thing that I lost, I paid in those things. That was the currency. Unfortunately, even the sentimental things and things that were just difficult for me to admit that I even left behind. I paid for my peace with those things. So I was able to leave a place that kept me stuck, kept me stagnant, kept me on drugs, kept me sad, kept me in profound grief. A place that held too many memories that were sad, and too many things that were attached to an old life that had evaporated and just disappeared. Like, I don't have that life anymore. I don't need all of those things. And I think that in the lesson, because I believe I see you. I believe I'm being taught lessons, or at this point when I was going through all these things and I'm hearing signs and I'm hearing synchronicities and I'm hearing, all this guidance, and I was following it and I was tapped in. I believe that it wasn't just following guidance to get me off drugs and get me to a cleaner, peaceful place. It was also their lessons that I needed to learn, which some of them were letting go and to work on my control, but definitely letting go. Like, I had to let go of so much. The house itself was, again, so special. So it's traumatizing and painful for me to think, if I sit and think, but I always have to go back to, but it gained you your peace. It gained you your peace. You're able to move on and resurrect your life because there had been a clean sweeping of people, places, and things from your life, which was God's plan for me. I listened, I followed, and I gained the peace I'd so desperately been searching for. But in that lesson, though, I needed to learn to let go, that things are just things. Peace is priceless, and not just peace, like my recovery and me being able to be a good parent and be a clear-minded individual and to show up in the world like a contributing member of society and not a lost, broken woman who was really white knuckling and trying to keep it all together and like smile and be like, it's all good, it's nothing bad's happening. And it was like, it was a big fat joke. Like, I was struggling so heavily, especially after my husband died. Obviously, I made it way harder on myself by trying to make it easier on myself. Like, for example, the drugs helped me with my grief and pain. It is true. But really, it was temporary, which always drugs are. What you get is always temporary. And it is a compounding effect that happens as things are being pushed and procrastinated, including grief and healing. It gets pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed to the end, to over here when you're ready to deal with it, and it's just like smushed and, put all together haphazardly when you get off drugs and you get clean and you're looking at all the things that you avoided and didn't heal from and didn't work on, didn't talk about, didn't fix, didn't address. It is an overwhelming mountain of your life that you just didn't participate in for however long. And that is the story that I'm telling now, is me getting through it and me starting over. So that is what I'm doing now. And anybody can do it. I got clean off of a very difficult drug on my own, alone, with no support. I'm not saying everyone has to do that, but let's help each other here, people. Let's do this.